I'm Nikki and I like to make pizza because I like to eat pizza. Cut, we're done, go home. So my friend Annie has given me a bunch of pizza making hacks to try today, and we'll see if they work, if they're helpful or not. Generally with baking, it's really hard to kind of cut corners, which I think a lot of hacks try to do. So we'll see. This is beautiful pizza. And this was made without any of like the hacks that we're trying. I'm using the homemade pizza recipe by Tasty, and that's what this is. It's like nice and thin, but it has like a nice puffy crust. Lots of nice cheese and sauce. Classic margarita pizza. We're gonna dissolve some yeast into some water, 1 teaspoon sugar. The recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of yeast, but our first hack that we're using says use 3/4 of a teaspoon more yeast so that it will rise more quickly. This I don't know about. Generally, I would say follow your recipe, but we're gonna try. 2 teaspoons, 3/4 more. So this is a 1/4, so we got 1, a 2, a 3. Mix in so it dissolves. And you have to make sure your water is warm, otherwise it won't, and it'll just clump and then it won't dissolve and your bread won't rise. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes that the yeast has been blooming in here, and I will say, it's very yeasty. Oh, it smells like bread too. God, yeast is weird, right? What is it? Next, we've got 7 cups of flour. I think this recipe makes like 4 pizzas. And then I've got 6 tablespoons of olive oil. 1.5 teaspoons of salt, so I'm gonna sprinkle the salt in with the flour, and I'm just gonna mix the salt in. Make a little well in the middle for our wet ingredients to go in, and we're gonna throw in the olive oil right in the middle. Ooh, wow, look at those yeasty bubbles. At this point, I would just like mix this with this wooden spoon, but there's a hack that says you should use the other end of a spoon because it's less messy. This one I'm very, very uncertain of, but I guess I've never done it, so who knows. I would normally use like this end of a spoon, and then when it starts to come together, then start to use my hands. I don't know why this is less messy than the other side of the spoon, so I don't know about this hack. I think it's the reason we don't have to use sticks is because we have spoons. I'm kind of reaching my end here with the spoon, so I'm just gonna use my hands. Not a hack, just a thing. My arms are tired. And there's another hack. You can take a little piece, like maybe like a golf ball size, and you wanna be able to like stretch it so it becomes like a little window, and then you should be able to like see light come through it. That's how much you should be able to stretch it without it tearing. Ah, look at that, nice and stretchy. Oops, a little tearing, don't look at that. I mean, it's not great, but it'll do. So we're gonna shape it into a ball, and I'm gonna put it in a bowl. We're gonna grease the bowl with a little bit of olive oil, and just so the dough doesn't stick. And then at this point, you wanna let the dough rest so it can rise and do its thing. You can wrap this in saran wrap. You can wrap this in like a kitchen hand towel, but there's a hack that says you can use a shower cap. Kitchen towels maybe they let too much air in and out. They're like porous, and then this is like not. We're just gonna, the important part is that your dough's covered. I think it's cute. Look at how big she is. It's been like 2 hours, the dough's been resting with this shower cap situation. Look at her. I wonder if this was the extra yeast, because it was only 2 hours and this has like more than doubled in size. I love how the shower cap made it so like beautifully round. Good job, shower cap. I just like want to look at it. Whee! Bread is so satisfying. Let me flour my surface. Wait for it. There's just a lot of kneading in this video. Are there any kneading hacks? That would have been helpful. Okay, and then I'm gonna split it into 4 because I think this is a recipe to make 4 pizzas. Okay, I've got 4 little dough portions, and I'm just gonna make them all into nice, neat little balls. If you like to feel things like I do, you should get into making bread because it's very satisfying. I'm just gonna sprinkle with a little bit of flour, and then they're just gonna rest like this for about 30 minutes. I wonder if I can use this again. Does it look like a chef's hat? While the dough is resting, we're gonna make tomato sauce. So I got a can of tomatoes here and some salt. So usually when you make tomato sauce, it's like easiest to use canned tomatoes. That's what I do as well. This is a can of whole tomatoes, and they usually come in like a liquid. And one of the hacks, which I don't know, again, if it's really a hack, it's like a thing you probably should do, just recommends draining the liquid because canned tomatoes can have a lot of excess liquid, a lot of excess water. And I'm just gonna open the can of tomatoes and drain the liquid. Be careful with your fingies. Oh, there they are. whole peeled tomatoes. Generally, you want to be draining liquid from canned tomatoes anyway, so I guess like, yes, this is a hack, but also it's like a thing you should do. And then we're just gonna add a tablespoon of salt, and then we're gonna blend it. This is like nice and chunky and not too liquidy. This is like salty tomatoes. Tomato sauce! Has it been 30 minutes, you think? Oh, so puffy, puffy babies. At this point, you would like maybe reflour the surface and then like squidge this until it becomes a pizza shape. One of the hacks says to use semolina flour instead of regular AP flour because it gives it like a little bit of like a texture, and also when it bakes, it doesn't like stick so much to it. Flour has like a taste. You know, when you like get a pizza or something and there's just like flour on the bottom, there's like a... So we're gonna use some semolina flour. Oh, it's like very fine too. We're just gonna slowly turn her into pizza. This is like the situation, right? Semolina flour everywhere. Nice looking. I think when you like buy pizza at like a restaurant, sometimes what can make the baking process really nice is they have like a pizza stone. It's basically just like this big stone that gets really hot in the oven. You can put pizza on top of it and it'll bake and get nice and crusty. There's this other hack where you can bake it on an upside down like cookie sheet, and that will be your big hot pizza stone. So we're gonna bake it on an upside down cookie sheet, and it needs to be preheated. So I'm just putting that in the preheated oven. Like a very clean oven. Has anyone used that yet? Our pizza stone upside down baking sheet is in the oven. And so I'm gonna transfer the dough onto this. Now in restaurants and fancy pizza people have like pizza peels. Isn't that one right there? If you don't have a pizza peel, you can just use like a chopping board. So that's what we're gonna do. No pizza peel, no problem.
It's literally just in the background.
I don't have one at home, so it's okay. I have a cutting board at home. So just use what you have. Okay, so I'm just gonna put semolina on the chopping board so it doesn't stick. Yay! She's pretty. Now to the toppings. One of the hacks in Annie's hack sheet says to spread on the tomato sauce, but not too much. When you spread the sauce on, you should still be able to see the dough underneath. I think because the thinking is that sauce is like wet and it can be like soggy. No one likes soggy pizza. Well, I'm sure someone does. I've spread the sauce and I can still see the dough. Cheese time, my favorite time. Mozzarella usually comes in this liquid to keep it fresh and soft because you don't want mozzarella to dry out. So we've got some kitchen paper. Look at these cute little pillows of cheese. I love cheese. Italian people really got this right. Okay, cheese, done. There's another hack on here that says, so there's another hack that says you should only have like 3 toppings on your pizza because that's like the right amount of toppings. Listen, put whatever the f you want to put on your own pizza, okay? You want to put 12 toppings on there, do it. You're eating it. Annie didn't get me any toppings, so we've got basil. So some people will put olive oil on before, or some people will put it on after. I think really it's just personal preference. Sometimes I do a little bit of both, we're being honest. Nikki hack, olive oil whenever you feel like it. I made a pizza. So now we'll go slide this onto our upside down cookie tray in the oven. This as my pizza peel should just slide the pizza right onto the hot baking stone. Oh, this makes me nervous. Oh, you know what? That worked out pretty well. It was a pretty easy transition. Good hack. Pizza pie! I'm just gonna do another quick, tiny little drizzle all a while. Yum! Okay, another hack says to just tear basil with your hands instead of using scissors, but who is cutting basil with scissors? Okay, I hacked a pizza. I think this upside down cookie sheet worked out really well. This is hot before you put the pizza on it, so the underneath gets nice and hot and crispy right away instead of baking it on a sheet that has to get hot while the pizza's getting hot at the same time. So, good hack. The semolina flour like helped it not stick too badly, and I think it gives it like a little bit of a crunch because it's like a more textured flour. Another hack is to use scissors to cut pizza, which like, yeah, why not? I feel like Asian people like to use scissors to cut everything in the kitchen. So this is like, this makes a lot of sense to me. If you were like, oh, an Asian grandma made this hack, I'd be like, yeah. Can I eat it now? It's steamy. So hot. Hack, if your pizza's too hot, blow on it. Mmm. That was really good. Not too much sauce. Very nice, crispy crust. Not soggy at all. It needs salt. Tomatoes are naturally very sweet. Now that I'm like eating it, I don't love all of the semolina on the bottom. It is like a texture. You can feel it in your mouth. It's like a little bit sandy. The last pizza hack. Apparently, if you're looking for an alternative way to reheat your pizza, you could use a waffle iron. So I'm just gonna cut a kind of a big piece. And then you're supposed to like fold it and then put it in a waffle iron. Ooh. This feels silly. So I guess if you're like, I need this pizza hot and crispy now, you can whip out your waffle iron. Whoa, very hot and melty. Does it work? Yes. Would I do this? No. This is so much work. Now I have to clean my waffle iron. So here are my 3 favorite pizza hacks from today. 1, the shower cap. Oh, that was very effective. 2, using the upside down cookie tray as a pizza stone. 3, the chopping board as the pizza peel. Having that chopping board was really helpful with the semolina and it just slid right off. I have done it in the past and it's been very messy. The fact that it wasn't messy this time, I think is a great hack. Grazie mille, ciao.